back to Buses, Bikes, and Beers, everyone.
Welcome back.
We have our official announcement today. We are announcing our ride across the United States today. It's 1 month from today. We'll be landing in Astoria, Oregon with our priority bicycles.
That's right, 1 month. 1 month and we start pedaling. We are getting very excited. We've done a lot of preparation. But today's video really is our official announcement, like Mary Beth said. And the name of the ride is called the Apollo Mission. 2 bikes, 1 country. And what you might want to know why we're calling it the Apollo Mission. Well, the Apollo bikes, plus ever since I was a child, I've been inspired by NASA and the Apollo programs, which are the programs that took people to the moon. And so I think it's a great name, and yeah, we'll show you this.
We have been given the scientific knowledge, the technical ability,
and the bicycle to pursue the exploration of the USA. This is the Priority Apollo gravel bike with its signature low maintenance and highly reliable drivetrain, disc brakes, and strong but lightweight aluminum frame and carbon fiber fork. Yes, the Priority Apollo bikes. If you're new to the channel, we got these bikes back in December of 2020 when we first moved back from Taiwan with the purpose of using them on this ride. We watched Ryan VanDuzer's channel. We've been watching it for a long time, and have had the honor to get to know Ryan a little bit. And it's really Ryan that helped inspire us, or at least directed us towards selecting this bicycle. We had conversations with Ryan over the years about that, and we recently had a Zoom call with Ryan where we sort of reminisced about this bicycle.
We also owe you a thanks for getting us interested in priority bikes, because it's really because of you and your admiration and promoting of those bikes that we got interested, because I was doing the exhaustive search of what the right touring bike was going to be for us. And you and I even talked one time years ago about, is the Priority 600 the right bike? And you had contacted us and said, hey, this new gravel bike's going to come out. You guys ought to look at it. And we absolutely love the Apollo, and we've slowly converted them into touring bikes. The last thing I did was change the gearing, and I'll tell you, the folks at Priority, the technical folks, like every time I had a question, like I would send an email to those guys, and super responsive.
Yeah, but I'm so glad that you're riding the Apollos. It's a sweet bike. Priority is a wonderful company. You know, I look at them as my friends, not really like this company out there. They're just really good people.
And we're ending our ride at their headquarters, and which
that's so cool.
Yeah.
And next week video, we're gonna maybe talk a little bit more about the other stuff that we're doing to make those bikes touring bikes. But yeah, we really appreciate Ryan's advice and pointing us to what we believe is going to be the best bike for us for this trip. You may ask yourself, why would someone want to ride across the United States? What's been our inspiration? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing it?
Because we're stupid.
There's something wrong. Well,
When we were watching Ryan and Ellie do Love Cycles riding across the United States, we were so envious, and we actually decided right then we're going to do this one day, and we made it a priority. We actually thought you were going to have to do a sabbatical, but you went retired instead, which was way better.
Yeah, we have been talking about this, I mean, since Love Cycles, and we also rode our bikes around Taiwan. We do have some video of that trip we took in July of 2020, and that also helped inspire us to want to do some longer term bicycle touring. But we've watched a lot of YouTube, a lot of Ryan's adventures, some other people's adventures, and we got inspired to want to do this, and then it became a goal.
Right, and we set it in motion.
We did, and this is
as far back as December 2020 when we ordered those priority bikes. We knew that we would be doing this.
We did. During our recent Zoom conversation with Ryan, we asked him a lot of questions, and he's been a real inspiration and a real help for us.
Source, yeah.
And source. That's a good way to say it. He's been a real source of knowledge. He's got a lot of experience, and so we'll share that with you now, so that you can also
Learn from his expertise.
Yes.
The first question is, how are you feeling, Matt?
I feel fine. You know, I'm just mostly annoyed that I've had to shut down my life for 10 days. I was going to go to the desert with Amelia, bike packing and all this other fun stuff, but I'm grateful that I'm not too sick.
All right. Hey, as you know, we've been talking to you and you've been giving us some input on this ride that we're about to embark on. And you were actually part of the inspiration because we watched Love Cycle. We were still in Taiwan when Love Cycle was going on. And it was like, we just couldn't wait for the next episode to come out. And we kept looking at it going, oh my God, we have to do this, you know? And so you are a source of true inspiration. I know that's your goal. And man, for us, it works. It works. So
it means the world to me. It really does. And I'm so glad that we got to connect in real life at Ragbri, and then you've come through Boulder, and now you're going to ride across the country and spread your joy. You're such a wonderful couple. I think you're the perfect ambassadors to ride bikes and spread love and joy.
Nice. Thank you. Hey, so about route planning, I know you did a video. We watched it several times. I don't know, maybe it was a few years ago, 18 months ago, I don't remember, but you did a video about traveling across the US and the different routes. Mm-hmm. And so we looked at that. We also, you had published your Google Maps of Love Cycle's route, and we looked at that, and we've been looking at that in detail. But any other, you know, sort of advice you would give us about as we sort of close out on our route planning?
Totally. So the first thing I'll say is, like, using a predetermined route is totally new to me, really. You know, bikepacking.com has all these routes. You just download it and you follow it, and that's what you do. That's really new. Most of what I've done in my entire career of bike touring for the past 10 years, I just kind of figure it out as I go. And that's kind of part of the adventure. You wake up, maybe you talk to some locals, they give you some advice of, oh, these are the best back roads, take this way, avoid that highway. You know, I really love using Komoot now. It's a really great app where you can say, I want to go from point A to point B, and I want to go gravel riding or mountain biking or even hiking. And it will put together a route for you that keeps you off the major roads. And it's really, really handy. So that's my new favorite piece of modern technology. But when it comes down to it, I like being open to just going wherever the wind blows. And that might be locals giving you advice, or you seeing something with your own eyes and being like, I'm just going to go that way.
I guess I'm a little nervous doing that, having this been our very first. I mean, we rode our bikes around Taiwan, but you know, that's a different experience. It's different than what we're doing.
That's the size of Maryland.
Yeah, it's the size of Maryland, and you know, this is you know, I guess I was uncomfortable sort of taking that approach. I wanted to know. Plus, we're trying to time Ragbri, and I just needed some assurance that we were going to get to, you know, the coast of Iowa, you know, in time for the ride.
But you and Allie did that. How many days leeway did you have once you got to Iowa? Were you waiting for the ride to start, or did you get there right on time?
We got there right on time. And so when we first started in Oregon, people were saying, are you going to do Ragbri? Are you going to do Ragbri? I was like, I don't really know. I hope so, but we're going to have to time it perfectly. And then once we got to Wyoming, I started calculating the days and the mileage, and I was like, okay, I think we can do it if we hit like 80 miles a day for the next 10 days or whatever it was. And we got there right in time, and you know, we built our route to deliver us right into Norfolk, which was Nebraska, right across the river from where it started. I'll say that I totally understand that some people are planners and they want to know every day what's going to happen. That gives them peace of mind. I totally get that. That's probably actually a majority of the bike touring population. I'm a little different. I'm a little more loosey-goosey. It works for me, but I do realize that it is nice to know, like, honey, this is where we're going today. See this route? We're all good. There's a couple grocery stores along the way and a gas station and some water sources. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. But yeah, I think getting to Ragbri is definitely priority.
Yeah. What about accommodations? So I know you camp a lot, hotels. Did you make reservations ahead of time? It's sort of along the lines of the whole planning thing. Did you, or did you just play it by ear every night?
People who travel with me get annoyed. They're like, you have nothing planned. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's how I do this.
That's the point.
That's the point. It's an adventure. No, I've never booked in advance, mainly because you don't know where you're going to be. Maybe you can book like the morning of, if you know like 70 miles down the road, you're going to be in a town, you can go and book your hotel. But from what I've found on all of my bike tours, I've gone across the United States 4 times and down both the East and the West Coast. You can always find a hotel. It's not like you're going to some tourist trap where all the hotels are full.
Yeah, yeah. I have, because I planned this route, I for the most part know where we're going to be in terms of campgrounds. And so if it's not like a Forest Service campground where it's first come, first serve, which I figure, we'll figure that out. I've called a few of these RV parks that we're going to stay at, and I'm like, I can't really tell you exactly the day I'm going to be there. And once you talk to them and you explain it's basically 2 bicycles and a tent, they're always like, oh, yeah, whatever. We'll find a place for you. Don't worry. Just, you don't need reservations. Just, you can camp on the front lawn of the office if we need to, or whatever. So once people figure out that you're on a bicycle, and everything seems to just calm down a little bit,
Yeah, people lower their guards. And, this is where, these opportunities present themselves for trail magic, where maybe you get to a town and maybe the hotels are full. And that's where you got to be like, okay, this is where something's going to happen. And I don't really know what. And, you might end up in somebody's backyard. You walk like into the town center and say, hey, is there a safe place to camp around here? And 9.9 times out of 10, when I ask a local about that in a small town, they'll say, you can just camp in my backyard. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Churches, fire stations, community centers are usually safe bets for places to camp. And small town America is very friendly. And I'm talking like small towns of like, 250 to 1,000 people. Once you get into bigger towns, then it's a little bit harder because, imagine somebody just riding into Boulder, a city of 100,000 people, and somebody it's just a different vibe. It's not as welcoming. They're like, oh, this is a little weird. Who's this person on a bike? But you roll up into small town America, they take care of you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So how much should we worry about clean water access?
Going across the country will be very easy to find clean water. You're not bike packing in the middle of nowhere. You're not in Baja, Mexico, going 4 days with no water, and your only option is some swampy bog. Every time I've gone across the country, there's always water access. And again, like churches and fire stations, just find a spigot and fill up your water.
Our most remote area is through Idaho.
Through Idaho.
Remember, you went through Stanley.
Yeah, oh yeah, Idaho, there's so many rivers and creeks and water.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good to go.
Yeah. Most of the roads, those back roads in Idaho follow some river,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And another thing is like you're probably gonna bring some sort of filtration.
We are.
But when I did Love Cycles with Allie, we barely used it. Barely, because you can fill up anywhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about the United States. There's clean water. In Mexico, you can't fill up your water bottles, at a sink in a gas station. You have to filter everything.
Or how many cans of beans does it take to get across the US?
Well, that is the question of the year.
Yeah.
I would,
Did you measure that in like beans per mile? Is that
beans? I should calculate this. Beans are a great energy food. I personally like eating a lot of beans. You might not be a bean person, so
We like beans.
We like beans.
Oh, you like beans? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I would say 1 can a day then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
car and truck traffic, what other threats or concerns should we consider? Dogs?
That's the biggest one.
Bears?
Other concern, that's really all I really think about, is traffic. Other than that, people are always worried about strangers and boogeyman getting you, but I've never had an experience like that. You know, there might be some animals out there that can be dangerous, bears and stuff in Idaho. But for the most part, I always tell people like the most dangerous creature is a mosquito. That's gonna cause a lot more problems than any bears or coyotes or mountain lions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
bring mosquito repellent for the western states and maybe even the Midwest.
Yeah.
How about security? Do you ever lock your bike up on a trip across the US?
I get this question a lot. What do you do with your bike when you go into a gas station or a grocery store? I never lock my bike up. I've never even carried a lock on a bike trip. A lot of times when you're in small towns, you can bring your bike into the entryway of a grocery store, or you just leave it outside. I've never had a problem. You know, it's hard to steal a bike that's super heavy.
How big a battery do you carry? I know, I see you got like an Anchor sort of, battery. And is that the only one you carry? And is it really enough?
Yeah, so I have that Anchor one that recharges like a phone 6 times, so it can charge a GoPro about the same amount, or my drone batteries. So I have that at all times. And what I do is I just bring lots of extra batteries. So when I, do a long trip of multiple months, I'll have a GoPro, and then I'll have like 5 or 6 extra GoPro batteries, 5 or 6 extra Sony batteries, and then 3 drone batteries. So that's the best thing. And then whenever you go to a hotel or a cafe, you just become a fiend for looking for outlets.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever tried it, but we bought 2 solar panels that we're going to drape over our panniers
Cool.
and keep the battery plugged in during the day. So when it's sunny, I don't know how that's going to work. It's a 28-watt solar panel. We'll
Cool.
see. We're going to field test it and see if that's a thing that works. But
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I've heard good things. They're getting better and better. I haven't done solar yet, but I'm not opposed to it. It's just, one more thing to worry about.
It is. It's one more thing to worry about. Hey, the next question's around editing on the road. And I know if you go back to your channel in the way back where you used to carry this great big laptop around, and there are pictures of you, editing. And then I know during Love Cycles, about halfway through, it just got to be too much and you stopped doing it. Any other advice about editing on the road?
Well, editing on the road is tough. I mean, and it's because you want to do this bike trip because you want to be out there in nature with your beautiful wife, enjoying sunsets and sunrises. And you don't want to be like, oh, honey, I would love to be enjoying this with you, but we need to edit. So let's sit at the picnic table for the next 4 hours. So it's tricky. And that's why I stopped editing during Love Cycles, because it got in the way of me being with Allie in the moment. But I totally understand how YouTube works, and it's beneficial to be uploading consistently, and you have all your fans watching and they want to see it. So my biggest advice would be just to really balance it out. But remember why you're there in the first place. Your fans will understand if a video is a few days late or a week late. But you want to be able to look at Mary Beth in 10 years and be like, man, we had the best time of our lives. Not, oh, Mary Beth, we put out so many videos. It was so awesome. We sat in our tent every night just editing and staring at a computer and then waking up every day and riding, and the grind was so fun.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta keep the objective in mind at all times. Yeah.
And I always tell people the number one goal on any adventure, the adventure comes first.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the documentation and the videos, because you're out there for yourselves to have, the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah. No, that's great. That is actually really great advice. Any advice about taking care of the body? I know we're older than you are, and we've planned it to where the early days are pretty short, and then we get longer as maybe our bodies get used to cycling every day. I mean, the longest we've ever done is
111 miles.
well, and maybe a 10 or 12 day in a row. This is
right.
this is 60, 70 days in a row. And any advice on how you take care of the old body?
Yeah, you're not in a race, so you can always just stop and chill and then just enjoy things. And that really just lets your body unload a little bit and relax, and you move yourself in different ways. When you're sitting on a bike for hours and hours and hours and hours, it can get really painful for your lower back or your knees or whatever. So I would say to get off your bike every now and then, stretch, move around, do some hugging, you know, whatever it takes. And yeah, exactly. That does wonders for the soul. You know, and at nighttime in your tent, you know, you can stretch a little bit. I don't know what kind of stretches you do, but stretching really, I would say, is the biggest thing. You know, hydration is huge.
Yeah.
It's hard to eat healthy food out there because America is essentially a food desert and you're stuck with gas station food a lot of times. So try to eat real food if you can. I mean, it really does catch up to you if you're just eating like processed sugar and salt every single day.
Yeah.
So, you know, gas stations a lot of times do have bananas and apples. You know, that makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We are actually going to have a stove and
Yeah.
so we can cook some real food when we have access to a grocery store.
Any special advice for packing?
For packing, bring a lot less than you think you need.
We are pretty
Yeah, we're
committed to one outfit,
yeah.
our
Yeah.
cycling clothes.
Yeah, we're trying to take as minimalist approach as possible, you know.
A 2 pair of underwear, shorts,
Yep.
biking underwear, whatever, so we can alternate those. But 1 pair of shorts, 1 wool shirt,
That's perfect. That's
And a
exactly
long
what I
sleeve.
bring.
a long sleeve.
Yeah, long sleeve shirt and then a puffy coat. We got puffy coats that sort of, you know, cram in
Yep.
case it's cold. But yeah, we're trying to keep the clothing to a minimum and then, you know, the other stuff, you know, again, and we got the stuff all spread out in our basement floor and we keep
Yeah.
looking at it and going, do we really need this? And what are we forgetting? And
But I realized quickly, the heavier your bike is, the less fun it is to ride your bike. So yeah, I think you're right on with bringing as little as possible. You're going to be traveling through the United States. So if there is something you need, you can buy it somewhere.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
opinion too.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
You're in for the trip of a lifetime. There's no doubt.
for sure.
Well, we have you to thank. You're our inspiration, and we really appreciate all your advice and your friendship and your kindness. You're one of our favorite people.
You're 2 of my favorite people. You're not one of. No, I'm so glad that you're going to do this. It's going to be wonderful, and I'm excited to follow along.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
Well,
you so much for taking time to chat with us today.
yeah, and you know, hopefully you continue to not feel bad and get through this quarantine period and back to
Yeah.
doing awesome things.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Take care, bud.
Bye.
Bye.
We want to express our appreciation again to Ryan for spending the time with us. It's really been a huge resource, a huge help for us, and it's given us actually confidence that we're going to be able to pull this off. So Ryan, thank you. Hey, we want to talk about one more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing. We wanted this ride to have a little bit more meaning for us, and so we did some research in organizations that we could support as part of this ride. We ended up finding an organization and deciding that we were going to support an organization called
The Boise Bicycle Project.
Yeah, I'm actually going to read their mission statement off their website because I don't want to get it wrong because I just love their mission statement. So let me read it to you. We are a community-focused nonprofit that promotes the personal, social, and environmental benefits of bicycling. You know, we really believe that. We really believe that bicycles, for us, for both of us, bicycles changed our lives in many ways. And this organization sees eye to eye with how we see bicycling and the impact bicycling can have not on your person, on your well-being, physically, emotionally, mentally, but as well as the benefits to the planet. And the bicycle is a magic machine, and these guys are right in line with that. So we wanted to support them. They do all sorts of community support bicycles. For example, you can donate your bicycle to them and they'll fix it up and give it to someone in need. So they have a whole bicycle. They've given away thousands of bicycles. They have a store, they have a facility, a warehouse, where they'll teach people how to do bicycle maintenance. People can volunteer if you've got skills in bicycle repair and maintenance. You can go down there and help fix these bicycles up. They actually have a portable bicycle repair shop that they haul behind a bicycle, and they go to different neighborhoods in Boise and repair people's bikes for free. So it's a great organization. They also do advocacy for safe cycling, and so they do a lot of great things that we want to support and get behind. So as part of this ride, we're going to try to generate some funds for
Yes,
them.
our goal is to raise about $3,400, which equals the number of miles we'll be pedaling.
$1 per mile.
$1 per mile.
So we'd really appreciate it if you could support us. We're going to put a link in the description to Buses, Bikes, and Beers
Fundraising page
fundraising
for
page
the Boise Bicycle
for the
Project.
bike. Yeah, exactly. So please click and donate, and we'll be
like and subscribe.
Speaking of supporting us,
The easiest and cheapest way to support us is to subscribe to our channel and like and communicate with us via the web, via our YouTube channel. Tell your friends.
our goal is, to be clear, our goal is not to
We don't want to make money.
and we don't have any illusions that we're going to get rich off YouTube, but we would like to recover some of the costs that it takes to put the content together, the camera gear, the drone, the subscriptions to the editing software and
The music.
and etc. So we've put a lot of our personal time and money into Buses, Bikes, and Beers. We hope we do it for you. We hope you enjoy it. Your feedback is so great for us, so inspiring. So like Mary Beth said, please engage with us. Stay tuned for next week where we're going to talk more about our preparations for this epic adventure.
Get into the route.
We're going to get into the route next week. We're going to get into our equipment. We're going to get into a little bit more about the bike. And yeah, it's coming.
Like a freight train.
God, I hope we're ready. Okay.
It was snowing yesterday in Idaho Falls, so we've been in the basement on the trainer.
Thanks for watching.
Wear a helmet.
Enjoy the ride.
Recording in progress. Mary Beth's
Hurry up, Mary Beth.
she's in makeup. Come on, baby.
Oh, I'm gonna put my makeup on too.
Now he left to put on.
Here. how's that?
Yes.
There we go.
That is awesome.